What's up, Doc? Welcome to the Docs Get Money podcast. Are you a badass doctor killing it professionally and has bigger dreams than just clocking in and out of the hospital? Do you want to leave behind a legacy that is as lit as an HBCU homecoming? Want to know how other doctors are getting to the big bag? That's right, making 5, 6, and 7 figures without putting on the white coat? If you answered yes to any of these questions, then you're in the right place. I'm your host, Kimberly, but you can call me Kim or KB. I went from being a burnt out and overwhelmed emergency physician to the founder and CEO of 2 six-figure non-clinical companies and beating burnout along the way. I'm also your business coach, here to help you make money moves to change the world. This podcast isn't just about making money, though. It's about leveling up your life, mindset, and bank account so you can build an empire that's as iconic as Beyonce. You ready? Let's get into it. Hey, Doc, burned out? Ready to just burn the whole hospital down? Well, let's start a fire. Okay, no, not in the hospital, but in your bank account. And from Side Hustler to CEO, my signature one-on-one business coaching program, you'll transform your burnout into a fire and start your own profitable coaching, consulting, or midterm rental business and make clinical cash in 90 days or less. That's right, 4 or 5 figures in 90 days or less. This is only for doctors who are done being overworked and undervalued and need a way out of the hospital now. With your F.I.R.E offer, you're not just dreaming about escaping clinical practice, you're building your own emergency exit. In 90 days, you could be your own boss, making bank, and actually enjoying your life again. So are you ready to swap those singed scrubs for CEO status? Then hit me up at Dr. Kimberly B on Instagram with the word burn, and let's turn that burnout into the bag. What's up, Doc? Welcome back to another episode of the Docs Get Money podcast. I'm so happy to have you back to join me today. And I say me because it's just a solo episode today. And I did not do it on my new podcasting platform just yet because, y'all, if you saw me right now, you'd be like, you are not camera ready. I am fresh off of my first day of orientation at my brand new locum assignment. I just kind of am just winding down from the day. It's been a crazy day. Briefly, so you guys know that I just moved to Arkansas. It's been my first full month in the state, and it's been going okay so far. But I did pick up a new locums assignment not too far from my house, a little bit of a drive, but not terrible, at one of the hospitals. You know me, I always pick a smaller, podunk, I always call it, even though I shouldn't really call it podunk, but y'all know what I mean. Little smaller hospital in the area, and it was a very, very busy day. I was supposed to be orienting. I got there at 9 o'clock. The doctor that was orienting me was also the medical director, and he told me that he's been the medical director for about over 10 years at this hospital. And he was already having a day when I got there, with a head bleed and a really complicated scalp laceration. And then the day just kind of rolled on from there. We barely were able to actually get a tour of the ER. I did get a chance to do all of the HR thingies that we, of course, have to do. And they have some really, 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 and I want to say really one more time, strange EMR that I have never worked on a day in my life. I know that they're going to Cerner in a couple of months, so that's going to save me. I trained on Cerner and Epic, so got a couple of months of being there and dealing with this weird EMR, but otherwise everything went okay. I had quite a few sick patients of my own for my orientation shift, and then I'm solo dolo for the next 3 days, until I'm off, and then I've got other things that I need to do as far as my business is concerned. But one of the things I'm so glad about and what I love about being an entrepreneur is that being a coach, being an entrepreneur more specifically, allows me a lot of flexibility in my time. And more specifically, this podcast, I can just create content whenever I want. So I'm super glad that I have the flexibility of my time to both record and grow my business as well as still see patients as well too. So that's really my day in a nutshell. It's been like I said, a long one. I hope you guys can't hear it in my voice. I'm trying to stay awake as much as possible. I've got some aromatherapy eye patches on, and like I said, I put on my relaxation um, lotion after I got out of the shower. I really try to take care of myself after a locums assignment shift or a shift because it just is a lot. I work 12s. I previously worked 24. Sometimes I work 10-hour shifts. Today was technically a 10. But that's still a long time to be giving and managing other people. So when I get off of work, I make sure that I try to take care of myself and pour into myself as well as make time for my business as well too. So I hope everything is going well with you. Today I want to do a little bit different of an episode. I want to talk about, actually, I want to ask you a question, Doc. This is really what this episode is about. It's about me asking you a question and seeing where you are. It's really about evaluation. And again, seeing what type of behaviors, what type of emotions, what type of things come up for you. But the question is, are you a side hustler or are you a CEO? Now, you guys already know that I have a whole program from side hustler to CEO that really helps you go from side hustler to CEO. But sometimes people don't even really know, like, I'm not really claiming the title of CEO, or I'm not really claiming the title of side hustler. So today, I want to give you a delineation between the two for me and hopefully for you as well, and encourage you and really call you to stepping into your CEO identity. This is not to beat you up. I want you to know ahead of time before I kind of go through, where I want to talk about with you today, that you are going to slip. If you're an entrepreneur, if you do have your own business, whether it be clinical or not, as a CEO and founder of your own business, there are going to be times where you're going to slip back into your side hustler activities or side hustler mindset. And there's going to be times that you're going to be fully in your CEO mindset and acting as a CEO. The whole purpose of this is to really be mindful and just to be aware of where you're coming from and what is happening with you in your business. Because I find that for myself and for my clients, that when we're really stuck in the side hustler mindset and the mentality of side hustling, I notice that it's harder to make money in the business. It's harder to actually flow. It's harder to be actually balanced as a clinician and an entrepreneur, as well as the role that you're taking, whether that's a coach, consultant, if you're a podcaster, whatever you're doing outside of your clinical work. It is, like I said, the time for you to make sure that you are being balanced. But when you're operating in that side hustler mentality, a lot of times that's when you'll start seeing the cash flow to kind of go down. The clientele might slow down. Your marketing may slow down. All of those things. And so I hope this episode today will help you to, just like I said, be more aware of where you are personally so that you can get back into that CEO mindset so that you can start making cash and start building your way out of the hospital, should that be what you desire. Okay, cool. So let's talk about a side hustler. Now, I feel like I fully can tell you about being a side hustler because that is the way I learned how to make money. I come from a background and from a family that has, businesses that have been established for years in the city of Milwaukee. But my mom and I, my mom, when I was growing up with her, she had a lot going on. Of course, she's a single mom. She's trying to work and she's trying to take care of me. At one point, of course, too, she was in school for herself, getting her own undergraduate degree. And she did a lot of different things in order for us to survive. So sometimes that was selling candy after Sunday school. Sometimes that was selling hot dogs at her night job where she was a secretary at a theological school. Sometimes that was her selling jewelry, selling fans, selling macrame things, what have you. My mom always knew how to keep some extra cash around as a side hustle. She never built a business of her own, even though she has definitely the skills of that. But I just want to say, like, that is the way I saw that you make money. And I feel like that is the same mindset and the mentality, again, that is in the house of medicine for those of us who are entrepreneurial or business minded at times, that doesn't have anything to do with us climbing the corporate ladder um, in the ivory tower of medicine, because hashtag I respect that, but who wants to do that? Because that's ghetto to me. Um, so, saying all that to say, this side hustler mentality comes because we feel like we need to keep our clinical jobs and then also do a little bit of something on the side as well too, just to kind of keep the bills going. And so we pick up, maybe extra telemedicine jobs, or we'll take up utilization management, or we'll start selling skincare products, or all kinds of different things that we do. So this mindset is very prevalent, not only for me, because that's how I grew up, thinking about how to make money and how money is generated from in a place when you are scarce, or you're just trying to keep the status quo going and need to keep some extra things afloat. I cannot even list all of the things I have done on the path to medicine as side hustles, and even main hustles at times, to get to medical school, to even get to residency as well too. I have worked at Target when I was in high school. I ghosted computers with my mom at Milwaukee Public Schools, meaning like I just erased computers and loaded brand new software on there all summer long. That was a very boring job. What else have I done? Of course, I've sold Girl Scout cookies. I have My mom tried to get me to sell jewelry in college, but I didn't really do any sales or anything in college. I was a bill collector. I worked at Jenny Craig. I worked for the health department. I worked at Walgreens as a pharmacy tech. I babysat on the side. I did so many different things along my journey that side hustling had become very natural to me. So again, saying all that to say, I am very entrenched and very knowledgeable about the side hustler mentality and that mindset. And thereby, I can definitely say that there is a lot of burnout that is associated with being a side hustler. So that is why I hope that you can, as I'm about to go through this list, maybe identify some of the characteristics that you may be embracing for yourself, and want to warn you about the burnout that's associated with it. The bad thing about being a side hustler is that you are constantly looking for the next hustle. The hustle, even the word hustle, just is just quick, 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 money, 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 like go, 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 as far as rushing and just trying to find the next quick thing. Maybe it's a couple of dollars here, a couple $1,000s there. Um, that's not where we need to go. As opposed to a CEO mindset, now that I have built a couple of companies now, actually, if you want to technically say 3 companies now, 2 of them are non clinical. One is, of course, my clinical practice. Um, but as opposed to a CEO that is really a more focused, driven, vision oriented, goal oriented mindset that is focused on getting one thing to succeed all the way until infinity, that has an unlimited mindset, that has a abundance mindset, that there's always more out there, and there's not a need for a hustle. There's more of a belief that things are going to come to you, and taking focused, aligned action is how you're going to get there. And continuing to do that focused, aligned action is going to get you to your financial and your freedom goals as well too. So that all being said, let me go ahead and talk a little bit more about the descriptions and comparing and contrasting, again, if you are being more of a side hustler or more of a CEO. So, the first thing that I would say that is side hustlers, and I'm talking to you, Doc, potentially, have all of the things to make money. However, they have little to no income to show for it. What do I mean by has all of the things? When I say all of the things, I mean has a website, very pretty, maybe website, maybe a very branded website. They have a logo. They have all of the branding. Maybe they've picked or you've picked absolutely beautiful colors. You have a mood board and all of the things that people say that you need to start a business. You may even have your LLC started. You may have a business bank account. You may have all of that. However, you have very little income to show for that. That is definitely one of the major things that side hustlers have. Let me tell you, if you feel called out, like, ooh, Kim, damn, you just coming right at my neck. I can say this from love because I have been there. I have been there as well. I have been taught, or I thought that as a doctor, you need to have the quote branding. You need to have the appearance of success, whether that be, again, like you said, like I said before, um, a logo, a website, the fancy pictures, um, carefully curated colors, and what do they mean and what do they evoke. I'm not saying that that's not important, but at the beginning of a business, and I'd say pretty early, like for a long time into your business, nobody's going to buy from you because you have a website. No one gives a crap about your LLC. No one gives a crap about your branding and your colors. They may compliment you on how beautiful you look in your branded pictures with your white coat or whatever you're doing and your lifestyle photo shoot that we've been all taught to have. But again, there's no income to show for it. Whereas CEOs have a mindset of, I'm gonna launch this ugly. Like they don't need to have a fancy website, a logo, a branding. They have two things. They have a strong offer and they have belief in themselves. And the belief, I should also say, third thing, a belief in the ability that their product or their offer is going to be able to serve someone fully, incredibly, and actually solve their problem. So let me tell you about a little bit deeper about what I mean by that. When I finished residency in 2018, again, I was taught to be Dr. Kimberly. And so I did go out and get all of the things. I wrote a book and I launched the book, and you should have products and you should have this website and you should do photo shoots where you're looking more lifestyle and fun and interactive. And so I spent a lot of time on the appearance of success, but not actually building the skills of having success and being successful, meaning having the income to show for that. And so, saying that to say, when I launched Sherwood Properties, when I had my very first apartment for Sherwood Properties, it wasn't ugly because of course I'm in the real estate business, so things needed to be pretty and nice, but I definitely didn't have a website and I definitely did not have a fancy incredible way to launch it. And so what I did when I launched Sherwood Properties is that I invested in a couple of things, some really good pictures, and I invested a whole lot of time in my belief in what I was creating, that there was going to be a guest out there that wants to stay with me, that there was going to be a guest out there that was looking for a place in Memphis and that they would want to stay in something that I have. And so I spent a lot of my time, again, like I said, building in my beliefs, speaking well to myself, and actually going out and marketing the hell out of my first apartment, Modern Luxury. God, I miss her. Modern Luxury. And so it was that dedication to that belief in my offer and my belief in myself and belief that I had something valuable to give that I was able to book my first guest in about 40 days and make $3,000, with actually in total it was ended up being $9,000 because she stayed with me for 3 months. And so versus when I had launched my book, I don't even remember how much money I made off of that. I know I probably made less than $500. And that book was launched way back in 2018 and it's still on the market and available today. So, saying all that to say, you can have all of the things, you can have all of the appearances, you can have all of the say so, but the main thing that a CEO has is the ability to launch things ugly and just believe in themselves and believe in their offer and believe that their offer is there to help someone else. That's the most important thing. So just take note. Do you have all of the things, Doc? Like, do you have all the branding and the pretty stuff and the LLC and all of the legal things that you're supposed to have, but no income? Versus, are you someone that's out there that's scrappy, that's not afraid to launch things ugly, like not afraid to launch an imperfection and not having all of your T's crossed and your I's dotted before you go out there and just sell what you have? I encourage you to become a CEO and launch things ugly and move in imperfection and not necessarily look at shiny appearances, things like that. Here's another one. Side hustlers seek clarity all the time by waffling in indecision and waiting on signs, versus CEOs seek clarity by making a decision and then following through with it. So here's what I mean by that. Clarity is something that we're always seeking. Like, oh, I don't know. I just want it to be clear. And I'm just not sure what it's going to look like, and et cetera and so forth. 100%. We all go through that. However, the difference between someone that is a successful entrepreneur that makes bank, that makes money, a CEO, is someone that, says, hey, I have multiple different things that I can do here. I can do A, I can do B, I can do C. You may weigh the pros and cons of A, B, and C, but at the end of the day, you don't just sit there and just say, well, okay, I'll just make a decision about it tomorrow. Or maybe I need to go do more research, or maybe I need to go find out. Maybe I'll talk to somebody else about, what they think about C, or maybe I need to talk to this person about what they think about A. No. CEOs say, you know what? Pros and cons of each of these, I'm going to pick B and let's just see where that takes me. And they pursue that until they can't go anywhere else with it. I am notoriously bad about being a side hustler about this. When I say being a side hustler about this, I'm always seeking clarity. I think, in a way, growing up in the Pentecostal church crippled me in this, because I'm always waiting for like a feeling to happen or something to descend on me, like the Holy Ghost, like a cloven tongue of fire to like sit on my head. And so I know that this is supposed to happen. Um, that has come up for me a lot in my coaching business, that I'm just like, oh, okay, well, I'm just waiting for a feeling, or I'm just waiting to feel excited, or I don't know sometimes what I'm waiting on. But that has gotten me caught up so much about waiting for a feeling, or researching for kingdom come about different things. And so now I am able to, by practice, let me say this, make a decision after weighing my pros and cons and just go with it, and realizing that making of the decision and following through with said decision will give you clarity, will give me my clarity. You never know what's going to happen until you make that step and actually follow through with it. Sometimes things will work. Sometimes plan B is or option B is the best thing to do. But sometimes you'll need to pivot, but you'll never know what you'll do. You'll be stuck staring at A, B, and C until you just say, I'm going to walk down this path and just see where it takes me. And so I encourage you, Doc, not to be a doctor so much, not to be such a thinker and so much in your head and just, I need more research. I need more research. I think that's a good thing, a reason why I'm an ER doctor. Like we move very much based on instinct, very much on what's in front of us right now, and taking the next best step twoing our businesses and step twoing our lives. a lot easier. Whereas I know some specialties just like to perseverate and like to think and like to analyze. Well, it could be this, it could be that. We do that some, but not as much as other specialties. So I'm so glad that emergency medicine has been able to teach me that. But I think doctors more specifically get stuck in this analysis paralysis about when they want to start a business or how to start a business. They'll say, "Well, I don't know what I should do. Maybe I should be a coach, or maybe I should consult, or maybe I really been thinking about doing, real estate, or maybe I should start a podcast, or whatever it is." It would just and then start researching to infinity instead of, you know what, let me just try it and take the next step and see what happens. Like put a date on the calendar and I'm going to figure it out from the rest of that point on. So that's what CEOs do, is that CEOs are excellent at making decisions. And like I said, going with it and going from there. Y'all should know my favorite CEO of all time is Steve Jobs, not because he's a Pisces, not just because he's Pisces, because he's a great Pisces, and so am I. And Pisces are some of the most creative people you'll ever meet and successful. Rihanna's a Pisces as well. That's why she's a billionaire. Saying all that to say, I guess my number two, Rihanna's one of my favorite, probably my number one CEO. But Steve Jobs is my favorite, or one of my favorite CEOs, because he talks a lot about when he was alive, intuition and listening to his inner voice and allowing that to help him to make his decisions in his business. And so, of course, we see today the success of Apple and everything that Apple has been able to create. I'm talking to you, recording on an Apple phone. I've got an Apple laptop in front of me. I got an iPad next to me. All of these things were the ingenuity from Steve Jobs and his own intuition and his belief and his able to just make a decision and go with it and see where it takes him. And so, in order to be successful as a business owner, as a CEO, as a founder, that you have to, again, make decisions and then move quickly with them and follow through. If it does not work, great. You learned something. That's awesome. It did not work. You know now what does not work for you and your business. But you can't just get stuck in seeking clarity by waiting for a feeling to descend on you, or for a sign to come, or for necessarily a scripture to come, or a vision or a dream to come to you. If you were waiting on that, you'll be waiting until kingdom come. And so, again, just noticing, are you being more of a side hustler in that mindset or being more of a CEO? Okay, so here's another one. Side hustlers procrastinate, whereas CEOs prioritize and plan. Now, again, I am a Pisces. I'm also an ER doctor. I got a lot of ish going on. So I procrastinate. I'm not beating you up on that. However, it is the constant procrastination, the constant pushing back of timelines, the constant, well, I'll do that tomorrow, or I'll go live tomorrow, or I'll post my post tomorrow, or I'll think about working with a coach later when I get to a certain point in business. The constant procrastination is what will slow you down and keep you working backwards. However, CEOs know how to, again, prioritize what's important to them and then plan for that. Meaning that whatever their priority is, they're going to make sure that they see it through from beginning to the end, because that is what is important to them. Of course, procrastination comes up, life comes up, but it's a difference when procrastination is a habit and a way of life for you in your business. When, like I said, you're constantly pushing back deadlines, you say that you're going to launch, and then you're like, oh, it's not sunny today, so I'm not going to launch. Or maybe when a feeling comes up of inadequacy or unsureness, then you're just going to, oh, let me push this back a little bit longer. No. CEOs know what is important to them. They know their goals, they know what they want, and they plan for that and go after it full force. Another thing, side hustlers have lots of low ticket or free offers. Whereas a CEO, to me, has one fire offer that they let burn. I'm going to say that again. Ooh, that's good, girl. A CEO has one single fire offer that they let burn. So, side hustlers have many low ticket or free offers. Let me tell you what I mean by low ticket. There's lots of thoughts, and you may even see me coming up very soon with, quote, a low ticket offer, maybe something that costs less than, for the sake of the conversation, since I'm talking to you, Doc, like maybe $300. Okay. So you may sell something that's $7, $17, $37. Of course, everybody says it has to end in an odd number. That's the magic thing, apparently. I don't know about that. I'm going to test that out soon enough for myself and for my business. Um, but those low ticket offers are a lot. And when you're trying to constantly sell something that's lower ticket, you have to go for volume. Meaning, if you're selling a, let's say, a $27 product, you're going to have to sell at least 100 of those in order for you to make $2,700 or $27,000. 2,700, excuse me, $2,700. I need to add a couple of zeros. If you, however, have a what I call a fire offer, a fast income so you can retire early offer, then the only thing is you need one of those. And then you can just let that roll and keep selling that over and over and over. And actually, you only need to sell it a few times before you hit some of your income goals and you replace your clinical income. I know this for myself, going back to when I was talking about at the beginning of the conversation. When I launched my book for like what, 20 something bucks. And I only sold a few copies of those. I thought that that was going to be my ticket out of medicine, y'all. I really did. I was like, oh, I'm an author. My book is on Amazon. Everybody's going to find it. Everybody wants to read my book. And it's going to just fly off the shelves. No, it did not. I still have some of the first few copies of my book ready to sell right now, too. But I had to sell, again, a ton of those to get to my goal of, let's say, making $2,000. Whereas now, when I started my midterm rental business with Sherwood Properties, like I said, I made $3,000 in 40 days after I pick something that is going to, or pick the business model that was going to give me fast income so that I could retire early. It was going to give me income that replaced my clinical work. $3,000, that's some of us, we will walk into a clinical shift and be able to do that, in a day or at least a couple of days. But that was like something that I made from one client in 40 days, selling it one time over. Same thing with from side hustler to CEO as being a coach. When you are a coach that sells high ticket products or high ticket offers, meaning for you, Doc, like anything above $5,000 and more. That's what my coach teaches me. Is that if you're a doctor, you should not be selling coaching for anything less than $5,000. So that's the standard that I had for myself and the standard that I have for my clients. You sell one client, you've made at least $5,000. That's one person. And there you go. So, how much less overwhelm is that? How much less stress is that when you are selling something that is priced at a different price point, at a higher price point, so that it is less stress on you? It is priced based on transformation and value. And someone is deeply served and deeply transformed from your work and from what you do. So that is why I say CEOs have just one fire offer that they let burn over and over and over and keep going, keep going, and keep going. When I say burn, and fire offer, of course, you guys know I'm from Side Hustler to CEO. I talk a lot about offer creation and I talk about sales as well too. But your fire offer is something that we work on together inside of from Side Hustler to CEO. And I have a fire offer combustion kit that's everything that you need to know, everything that you need, all the decisions you need to make in order for you to have a fire offer, and then we go and sell it over and over and over, and we tweak and we rinse and repeat that so that you can replace your clinical income. So, saying all that to say that that's what my clients do. That's what I was able to do as a coach. That's what I was able to do as a midterm rental investor versus when I was selling lower ticket, just $20 books. I never got to that goal. And then I'm stuck in the hustle. I'm stuck in the burnout. I'm stuck in the, I need to find more people to buy my book. Nobody's buying books, even still today. So I hope that's very clear, but just being noticeable. Like, do you have, Doc, a fire offer? Do you have something that is priced high ticket? It's just one of them, and then you're able to rinse and repeat and sell that thing over and over and over so that it's able to replace your clinical income. That's what I mean. All right, let's do another one. Ooh, this is a good one. Side hustlers take everything in business seriously and makes it a business. Very business like, very business oriented, just very serious and blah, blah, blah. Like, I'm a business person. I need to take my business very seriously, and everything is just very, very serious. Whereas a CEO has fun, plays with their business, and enjoys the journey of being an entrepreneur. This is one of the things that I'm learning more recently. I feel like I didn't really have a mindset of business and all of that until, like I said, pretty recently. My second year of business for my second my second year of business for Side Hustler to CEO, and my third year of business for Sherwood Properties. It's like I feel like I need to be a CEO. I need to be very important. I need to look a certain way. I have to, have my logo and just present myself a certain way, and I need to just approach my business very seriously, because it's a serious matter. Serious matter. Shout out to everybody that knows what that means. But it's not. And this year, I'm having so much more fun just in general, mainly as a coach, um, just trying and just new things and just seeing what's happening, and just being curious and just taking like a more childlike mentality to things, and just being curious and just playing and seeing and having fun, and really just allowing my business to be an outlet. I think that's been really important for me as well too. And it's really important for you more specifically, Doc, if you are suffering from burnout and wanting to start something else outside of medicine, that when you do start your business, don't take it so fucking seriously. You're already a doctor. Okay? We already save lives literally every day. And we have lives in our hands every day. Allow your business to be a place where you can try something new and be something that you've never been before, and see what happens. And like I said, just be curious, almost pretend like it's a land of make believe. If you remember Mr. Rogers and the land of make believe, allow it to be that. Because when you bring that playfulness, that curiosity, that fun, that childlike, enthusiasm and that energy to your business, people are attracted to that. Nobody wants to work with somebody that's like all buttoned up and boring. They already think you're like that anyway. You're a doctor. People already think you're serious and stuff, anywho. So why, when you start a non-clinical business, that you want to be the same boring, buttoned up, that same kind of mindset? Yes, it's a difference between being, you need to be professional. I'm not saying to just be like wah and just like be unprofessional and not actually follow through with your promises and things like that. But the energy that you hold about your business, your love that you have with your business, the creativity that you have with your business, clients are able to sense that. People know when you're over here having fun. and when you're not. And people want to have fun. This world is crazy enough, right? People have problems that they need to solve. And you, as a coach, as a consultant, as a business owner, have the solution to people's problems. And so, but they want to work with someone that is enjoying the process. Nobody wants to work with somebody that is bored to death and does not like their own offer. I know I don't. Every coach that I have worked with, or every business owner that I've worked with, whether that's Shayna, y'all have heard her on the podcast, whether that's Dr. Kimmy, y'all have heard her on the podcast, and some other people as well too that you will eventually hear on the podcast. Part of the reason I was drawn to working with them was they had an amazing attitude about their business, and they genuinely enjoyed what they were doing. They talked about what they were doing with such love and such playfulness and fervor, and just generalized curiosity about what could be next for them and how they could help me, and all of the different things that they have going on in their business in order for it to grow and expand so that it can help more people. So I strongly encourage you, Doc, to be the CEO of that. And by that means it's just having fun, being playful, not taking yourself so seriously. You got to take yourself seriously when you're at work. When you're in the hospital, when you're at the bedside, of course, you need to be serious, doctor, whoever you are. But inside of your business, when you are creating as a founder, as a creator, I strongly encourage you to have fun, because that fun attitude, that playful attitude will help you to solve more problems. It will draw more people to your business and will make people actually want to work with you. Okay, so let's take another one, Doc. Side hustlers, along the same lines of having fun, take failure as a stop sign. What? Where and quits along the way. And they beat themselves up. Whereas CEOs takes their business as an experiment, and they look at their business as a mad scientist, and they experiment with things and keep things going along the way. So many different times you, Doc, are going to hear the word no in life, but more specifically in your business. If you are on sales calls, if you are marketing, if you are doing anything as far as making offers to people every single day, you are going to hear the word no, and you're going to take that as a failure. And some people will just stop. Like, they've heard no's and they're just like, you know what? That's it for me. I'm good. Like, this is a sign I'm not supposed to do this, etc. However, as a CEO, when I say that you're more of a mad scientist, they are the ones that may hear the no on a sales call, mess up a sales call, say something wrong, fall off maybe the script that they're following, get out of the coach energy that they need to have, and they go back and follow the scientific process and evaluate what is going on with them, and tweak and and test what could work, what didn't work, and work on the improvement for the next experiment. So if it's like, hey, I went live a couple of times and nobody showed up, I wonder why that is. Maybe I can pick a different time. Maybe I don't worry about if no one shows up live. I focus on people watching replays. Maybe I will pick different topics. Maybe if I announce if I'm going live regular, any of those other options instead of, oh, well, nobody came onto my live, so I'm not going to do this again. Oh, this is a failure. I'm a failure. I'm just going to stop. Like, this isn't working. You see the difference in that? So when you are a CEO, you're going to hear no a lot. This is a non-negotiable. You are going to hear no. However, it's what you do with that no as a CEO and how you approach that no. That's really what makes you the difference between someone that's being stuck with just a little bit of cash versus someone that makes 6 and 7 figures in their business. I will say this. This is something that I think it's a lot of us stuck, meaning we may dip our toe in these waters. We'll say, hey, I'm going to start a coaching business. You create your offer, you may announce it, and then you start getting on some sales calls and you start, like I said, hearing some no's. And they just stop. Like, I just, from the bad emotions, from the bad feelings, they just take it as, oh, I'm just not meant to do this. Maybe I should just give this away for free. And that's not what things are saying at all. You should, as a CEO, again, take things as not a failure, as in you're done, it's a stop sign. Failures, remember, my favorite thing to say is a first attempt in learning. So maybe it's a frequent attempt in learning for some of us as well too. But we don't stop there. We ask more questions, we tinker, we tweak, we alchemize our business. We maybe add a little razzle dazzle here and take something out there and try something different there and repeat something new over here, whatever it takes, but they keep going until they get the yes. And that is the difference between, again, a side hustler that only is making a few dollars here and there and a CEO that has sustainable income that's able to replace their clinical work. Okay. Let's see. The next one, I had to scroll on my notes, y'all. Okay. So the next one is side hustlers don't find and understand what works for their business. They don't know their specific secret sauce for them to make money. Whereas a CEO relentlessly finds their secret sauce recipe, that's what I like to call it, and then rinses and repeats its way to its success. So, along the same lines of what I was just saying before, when you take failure as a stop sign, then you're never going to be able to find what actually does work. Let's take the live example for a reason, for another example again. I encourage my clients to go live once a week or do something once per week so that they can continue to market and continue to sell their business. And I encourage them more specifically to go live because, one, a multitude of reasons, but live videos connect you with your clients a lot faster than any other medium and any other platform. People want to see you, people want to interact with you, people want to know what it's like to talk to you, to work with you, all of those things. And being able to deliver a live content or live video can help with that. And it can be multi-purpose. There's so many benefits to it. However, doctors, yes, you doc, I'm talking to you. Doctors, more specifically, because I'm a doctor too, so I'm through this as well. We feel like we have to be so perfect and we have to be so polished and we have to do things a certain way. So when we get embarrassed, come on, somebody, or we think that we didn't do it right, if it's not completely perfect or nobody showed up or nobody's paying attention to what we have to say or nobody heard this or read this, etc., then they're just like, oh my God, I'm a failure. I don't want to feel bad. I don't want to be out here looking bad or looking weird to people. Let me not do this again. But when you do that, you never find exactly what works. Live videos work. They do. They definitely do. And they can work for you and your business if you work them. However, if you get on a couple of lives and you say, well, nobody's joining me, and then no one is actually taking up my call to action, no one's DMing me, this is not working, it's a failure, then you'll never keep to it enough to find out how the live videos can actually work for you. And maybe what days, what times, what topics, what platform even could work for you in order to do the lives. And so I love saying that when you find your secret sauce, when you find your recipe for what you need to do in your business and how you need to show up, That comes from, of course, um, relentlessly pursuing and going past the no and going past the rejection that you're feeling and the rejection that you're receiving, not even feeling, but also receiving, because you're hearing no's and you're hearing crickets and you're hearing silence. Completely normal, part of the process. But it's continuing to go past that in order to get to your recipe, so that when you get the for your first yes, then you know exactly what to do to get the second yes, then you know what exactly to do what to get the 10th yes, then the 20th, etc., and so forth. So relentlessly finding your secret sauce recipe is important. And how you find that is by going out and getting rejected and failing and doing a bunch of shit wrong and figuring out your own offer and your own business, so that when you get that yes, you're so able to go ahead and serve that client more successfully. I'm thinking about my client Dimitri right now when I'm thinking about this, because as a fitness coach, he had been a fitness coach for years, during residency, and wanted to build a successful business, but he was just kind of going over and over and just trying to, like, just doing the same things over and over and over. However, when we started working together, he heard no's, but it did not stop him. He still kept going. He tweaked, he repeated, he rinsed, he got on another sales call, he figured out what worked, and then he finally got his yes. And then he signed a 15K client. When I'm saying that things are going to take time and you're going to hear rejection, time does not necessarily mean years that we all don't have, because I am in my late 30s, y'all. I'll be 40 next year. Jesus Lord. So glad I'm here, but we don't have years and years and years on end in order for success to happen for us in our business. And so when you become dedicated into finding your secret recipe, things move faster because you are willing to keep going, push past the no, push past the negative emotions, and just keep pursuing your vision, your dream. And like I said, building the belief in yourself, your offer, and your product in order to be successful. By doing that, Dimitri, my client, was able to make 15K in 23 days. Okay. I was able to make my first 12K as a business coach in 1 week, following this same mindset and this same formula. And who else do I have? Oh, I did this again with Sherwood Properties. Again, over and over. I had failed, quote unquote, I thought, in real estate. I'd never be a real estate investor. I had already tried to, I invested thousands of dollars into a fix and flip. No, excuse me, we thought we were going to do a fix and flip. We ended up just renting it out. Invested thousands of dollars and never saw a return. So I thought that failed, but I kept going. I pivoted. I tried something new. And then I was able to make my first $3,000 in 40 days from opening up my apartment, my midterm rental. And then over a year, crossed six figures without burning out. And after finding the formula that worked for me and worked for my business. So I hope that's clear for you, Doc. I hope you understand where I'm going. And please let me know if this is helpful for you. Let me pause right here. If this is helpful to kind of help to break down what it's like to really be a CEO and what it's really like to embrace that mindset, I strongly encourage you to just drop me a DM on Instagram at Dr. Kimberly B. Let me know if this podcast has helped you. I wish I had something like this to really understand what it's like to be an entrepreneur. So much of, I feel like, Instagram, maybe on the business coach side of Instagram, I don't know if it's like that on your stories or in your timelines, but it's just everybody is like successful. Everybody's making 6, 7, 8 figures, and they're making it look so glam. They're showing you the goal line where everybody's like floating on the beach saying, I'm making $200,000 while I'm on maternity leave, floating in this ocean. And it's like, I'm sure that they are. But at the same time, what is the actual work that is taking to get there? And I don't want to sugarcoat shit for you. I want to be very real with you, especially since none of us, or maybe a few of us, have gone to business school, but I don't know if they talk about this per se. Being an entrepreneur takes a different mindset, takes a different level of tenacity, takes a different level of resilience, which I'm not a fan of that word, but it works in this scenario. So I want this to be like mini business school for you, like absolute, like behind the scenes, like this is what it's really taking to be both a doctor in this world and an entrepreneur and successful at both of them. So, like I said, if this is helping you, please drop me a line on Instagram. I like to hear from my listeners. I love to know more about you, things like that as well too. So, like I said, drop me a line if this is helping. Almost done here. A couple of other things I want to say. Um, Side hustlers sporadically or avoids doing the work to move the business forward. Whereas CEOs know their money making emotions, feels them regularly, and allows these emotions in order for them to do their work consistently. What do I mean by money making emotions? I want you to go back to, I think it's the Docs Get Money episode number 5, when I say the emotions that you need to make money. Go back and listen to that episode. It's one of my favorite episodes because it's not always going to feel good being rich. What? You think money gonna solve all your problems? It's gonna solve a lot of them, but it's not gonna solve all of them. And as you are growing a business, there's inherent discomfort there. And so I say all that to say, when you are feeling embarrassed, which is one of the money making emotions, one of the new ones that I want to add is when you're feeling inadequate, when you are feeling unsure. That is a lot of the times where people will go into the stopping and the starting again. Like they'll put up posts and then they'll disappear for a while. I'm calling myself out on this one. Okay. They just will get uncomfortable or they don't get the feedback and then they'll stop, and it's just kind of like this kind of just like if you were in a car and somebody's like braking real heavy, which y'all can see me. I'm like going back and forth, like I'm in a car. However, when you embrace your money making emotions, when you allow the embarrassment to be there, you are saying, you know what, this is really embarrassing. I feel not good about this. And you expect that to happen to you and just allow it to be with you. That's what is going to drive you to continue to go on in your business and to continue to just know that it's a normal part of the process and keep going and stop necessarily sporadically just doing the work when you feel good or when you're excited or when you're happy or when all of those things. Because if you're continuing to just run your business on positive emotion, you're going to burn out. Burn out. You're already burnt out from work. You may or may not have a family situation or a personal situation that is very tough right now as well too. So you can't guarantee every day you're going to wake up and feel like throwing glitter on everybody, because you're not. You might feel like throwing spitballs at people or throwing paper airplanes at people or just hiding under the bed some days. That can't stop you from moving your business forward. And you have to know that that is a normal part of the process in order for you to keep going. So allowing money making emotions, well, some are positive, some are negative, but all of those will continue to just move your business forward. Like I said, I strongly recommend that you go back to the episode, DGM episode number 5. We'll link it in the show notes. And embracing those money making emotions. And when you find where you can feel those emotions in your business, I guarantee you, if you decide, Dr. CEO, when you decide to feel those regularly, that you will make money more consistently in your business. Okay. The last one, y'all. Side hustlers haphazardly work on their projects and ideas and again frequently stop and start, whereas the CEO, the doctor CEO, knows their money making moves that they need to make in order to, at their level of business, in order to move their business forward and move in clarity and decision in their business. What do I mean by that? Um, there's so much advice out there for entrepreneurs as far as what to do if you want to start a business. If you want to be a coach, maybe you should do one on one, or maybe you should do a group, or maybe you should start a course, or maybe you should do a mastermind, all of these different things that you can offer. And you may pick up on ideas and keep pursue that for a little while, and then you put it down, and then you kind of get shiny object syndrome. And okay, well, I'm gonna pause on my digital course. Maybe I'll just start working on my one-on-one offer. And it's kind of again, shiny object syndrome, stopping and starting, things like that. However, CEOs are very vision oriented, decisive, deliberate people, and they know exactly the money moves that they need to make in order to bring business in. I love teaching my clients that you should make an offer to a client, a potential client, every single day, whether that's a social media post, whether that's talking to someone one on one, whether that's going live, whether that's creating a piece of content, whether that's an email sequence, something that you do daily to generate money in your business or generate money in your life. One of the best things I had a business coach teach me was that you can make money all kinds of different ways. It doesn't necessarily have to be, quote, in the business. She is a Black woman like me, made her way to an 8-figure coaching business. And part of the things that she did is she didn't come from much. She grew up a lot like me. She grew up hard. She grew up not having a lot of cash, so she was used to kind of doing things here and there. Sometimes we need to do that as well too, but we can generate money a lot of different ways in our businesses and just in general. But one of the things that she told me to do was to make money moves every single day, whether that is asking someone to pay you back that borrowed money from you some time ago, reaching out to a client to pay an outstanding invoice, whether that is raising prices on an offer that's maybe a low ticket and you want to start making more money so that you have more free time, whatever that takes. But you know the moves that you need to make at your level of business. You're not making $0, have no idea about how to message your client, trying to run, $3,000 ads and expecting people to just, buy your offer, et cetera, and so forth. But you know exactly what you need to do at your level of business, at your level of income in your business in order to generate more income. That's one of the things that I love to do as a business coach with my clients and from side hustler to CEO is that one of the first things that I do when we start working together is that I see how much money that your business is already generating and what I can do to help you at your level in order to increase it. Sometimes that means focusing more on sales. Sometimes that means more so the back end, looking at systems and organizing your system so that you can deliver your offer more effectively. Sometimes that's looking at pricing, but it's based on where you are in your business and what the offer that you are trying to create is, and that's how I'm able to help you more. But like I said, the money moves that you need to make at your specific point in business, that's what drives you forward in the business. I think another thing that side hustlers do is a lot of compare and despair, meaning they see these 6, 7, and 8-figure entrepreneurs and they're maybe making, less than that, of course, and they want to be them. We admire these entrepreneurs, these other business owners, and we cannot wait until our businesses get there, that we start emulating things that they're doing at a 6, 7, and 8-figure level that we have absolutely no business doing when we're not making any money. Let me call myself out on this. When I launched from side hustler to CEO, I was working with that same business coach that I was talking to you about just a few minutes ago that taught me about making money, wherever. And she deployed a tactic to launch a membership that she was starting in her program and or in her business. And so when I launched from side hustler to CEO, I used that exact same tactic because I knew it was going to work, right? Like it worked for her. It's definitely going to work for me. That was part of the belief that I built and launching my program. And that's what the belief that I continue to try to build throughout throughout that launch, excuse me. And let me say this. It definitely worked. The tactic 100% worked. I had over 300. I'm saying 300. I think it was really more than that. I never stopped to count. 300 inquiries to me, little old me, solo entrepreneur, um, interested in my business. And all of a sudden, my systems were failing on my back end. And I didn't have the big team that my coach has. My coach had a 20-person team at the time. So she had someone on social media, she had someone, to take calls, she had all of those things. I had just me. So when I deployed a tactic that was not meant for my level of business and not even my offer, because I wasn't deploying a membership. From Side Hustle to CEO is not a membership. It is a one-on-one coaching program. Like I'm working with you for 6 months, one-on-one, building your business alongside you and walking alongside you when you're doing this. It's very high touch. And so it worked too well. And it shut me down emotionally. It worked in the sense that I definitely signed my first 2 clients, and that's how I was able to make 12K in my first week of my launch. But at the same time, it shut my business down in the back end. It shut me down emotionally. I literally hid. I ran to my coach. I cried. I completely had a nervous freaking meltdown because I had absolutely no business using that tactic. I should not have um I should have had more systems in place. I should have had more belief built. I should have had more emotional systems for myself built and more self-care built for myself before I was able to use a tactic like that. And definitely I think I needed, well, I don't need to think a bigger audience. I had the perfect audience, but at the same time, it was the systems and the belief that I did not have that shut me down emotionally. And honestly, it taught me a whole hell of a lot. But more importantly, it taught me to stay out of grown folks' business in so many different ways. And making sure that I knew the moves that I needed to make in order for me to make money in the early stages in my business. I know that I needed to be seen. And I definitely did that, but that was just not what I needed to make. That's not necessarily the right move that I needed to make so early along in my offer that I just was not emotionally, mentally, or actually practically prepared for as well too. So when you are a side hustler, you can get stuck on just kind of haphazardly doing things and stopping and starting and comparing and despairing and trying things as far as what you're seeing other entrepreneurs doing, and you're not fully understanding all of the thought processes behind it and all of the systems behind what makes that successful, and you're just going on your appearance and what you thought versus when you stick to the very simplest things that you need to do in order to make money. I need to talk to people. I need to let people know that I have an offer. I need to ask people to work with me. I need to invite people to contact me, to reach out to me if they need what I have to offer, if they know someone that needs what I have to offer. Super, super, super simple. And then taking it step by step, rinsing and repeating and replacing our income. So I hope this has been helpful for you. I know I said this before, but I'm gonna say it again. Um, this is not an episode to call you out. If you're feeling called out, know that it's in love. Know that I have been on both sides of this fence. And even as a 6-figure entrepreneur, um, I still bounce back and forth between side hustler and CEO. It is about being aware. It's about noticing. And it's about being dedicated to every day when you show up in your business that you're going to decide to show up as a CEO. And you're going to decide to see, where are you embracing a more side hustler? Are you being a side hustler today? Is that the reason why you're not getting the results that you want? And just really being open to thinking something new, being curious about yourself, being aware, being open minded. And I've said this so much before, but I'm going to say it again. This is the work that we do inside of From Side Hustler to CEO. Thus the names From Side Hustler to CEO, is that I know what does not work and I know what it does work. And so our time together is not just me copy and pasting, oh, I did this, so you should do this, but really getting deep and really getting clear about what's working for you, what will work at your level of business, and how you can not have to go to get an MBA or go to business school in order for you to learn these things, but learn these things in action and save so much time, money, and energy along the way by getting into action with someone that has been there before, who's just like you, who's still working clinically and understands exactly where you are and can help you to move your business forward. That is what I love most about being a business coach, is watching other doctors build their own freedom outside of the hospital and encouraging them along the way, giving them the tools, giving them the supplies to build their own ivory tower for their own legacy, and not building the legacy of anyone else but themselves too. So I strongly encourage you and I invite you, if you are starting your own business, if you want to start your own business, if you are an entrepreneur and you may be stuck or not seeing the results that you want, reach out to me. You can find me on my website, KimberlyBrownMD.com. You can find me on Instagram at Dr. Kimberly B. Right now, the doors From Side Hustler to CEO are closed, but I will be opening them very, very soon. I have something great to announce to you guys next week. And I'm so excited to talk to you guys about that. But I would love to talk to you and see if we can help you inside of From Side Hustler to CEO. I have the process in order for you to create your own FIRE offer. If you're like, Kim, I don't even have a FIRE offer. What is that? I want to create that for myself, but I don't even know what that is. Guess what? I got you, boo. That's why I created the FIRE offer combustion kit. And so it will take you literally no time, less than 90 days for you to start making money as a non-clinical entrepreneur. So if any of this was helpful for you, if this is something that you need in your business, like I said, I would love, love, love to talk to you. And hit me up at Instagram at Dr. Kimberly B, or just reach out to me on my website. So, okay, I started this podcast telling y'all, oh shoot, I've been talking for over an hour. Oh my God. I started this podcast off telling you guys I got to go to work in the morning. I got off of work today, but once I start talking about just making money and all of these things, I just get carried away. I will let you guys go for tonight, but let me know and start thinking about it. Doc, are you a side hustler or are you a CEO? If you need help being a CEO, hit me up. All right. I will talk to you guys later. Have an amazing, amazing day, and we will talk next week. Bye-bye. Thank you for listening to the Docs Get Money podcast. New episodes drop every Thursday wherever you find your favorite podcast. Share, comment, follow, and subscribe to the Docs Get Money podcast wherever you get your podcasts. And if you want to know more, visit me, Dr. Kimberly Brown, at KimberlyBrownMD.com, and be sure to follow me at Dr. Kimberly B on Instagram. And until next time, let's go get this money, honey.